Welcome to the Heartful Healing Hub podcast. I am Deanne, your host, frequency intuitive and energetic healing guide, here to hold space for transformation through sound, energy, and sacred storytelling. You're listening to Healed and Whole Stories of Remembering, a special series where I sit with women who've walked through deep health challenges and emerged transformed. These are conversations that are sacred, heart to heart, soul to soul, filled with truth, resilience, and the power of coming home to yourself. May these conversations inspire your own inner healer to awaken. Let's begin. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my podcast. I have the great pleasure of sitting here with Tracy Searight. I will read her bio so I can introduce her properly. Tracy has had many roles in her life, including wife, mom, and fur mom. Her last role are as an educator, yoga teacher, Reiki master of multiple systems, sound practitioner, author, and podcast owner. And she is also the owner of Feather Sister Wellness and Ready Reiki and Beep Beep, the yoga SUV. I love that name. It just tickles my bone, my fancy bone or funny bone, whatever you call that one. That provides yoga all through El Paso, Texas, and you can also find her online or in person in the El Paso, Texas area. Welcome, Tracy. How are you?
Beautiful. Thank you for having me. I can't wait to go on this journey with you.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So, where would you like to start? The stage is yours, hon. So, wherever you'd like to start, story, what you're doing, up to you.
Sure. My entrance into this world with my parents coming in, and my parents divorced when I was probably about 4 or 5 years old. And I knew from a very early age that I had a heart of a teacher. I just loved teaching and had the little chalkboard and had the little stuffed animals as I would teach them and everything. And I really felt that calling to teach. As I got older, I had an opportunity in my teens to work at an amusement park. Now, I was shy as a child. I was really introverted. My parents had broken up, and my father got remarried and had my half sister. Angel. And as a teenager, I was trying to break out of that shyness. So I worked in games department, and they put me in the fish pond. And the fish pond, you have to attract people over. And then we would have to sing, we would have to say things. And it was a pretty popular game, because if you caught a fish for a quarter and you got a number 10 fish, you got a big prize. So people were all over that. So it was quite busy, quite crowded. I did really well with that, and they decided to make me manager of the birthday game. So now I really had to call people in, like, come on over, roll the dice, let's get your birthday. So it really kind of helped bring me out of my shell. My mother wanted me to go into nursing, and I wasn't, I don't know if it was me. I think I was too empathic. I didn't think I could hold space on that level at that time. So I went off to college and became an elementary teacher. Married at 22, had 4 beautiful children by the time I was 30. I put my children first, and any job I went, they followed. I got creative. I worked in everything from churches to daycares to community centers, and created little programs and classes such as Pee Wee Picasso and Picture Yourself a Bug. I had a birthday business that it was called A Piece of Cake, because all you had to do was bring the cake and I would do the rest. And then it came upon that I felt I outgrew my marriage. So I went to leave that and moved on to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, back where I was originally from. There I reconnected with someone I dated in college, and he never married. He never had kids. We got married, and we've been together ever since. And spend time with our family. And then he had an opportunity about a few years ago to come to El Paso, Texas, and he wanted me to come out. And there my life changed, as everybody's did in 2020, right? But at the beginning of my 2020, my half sister passed. And I think she was one of the early COVID, but at the time we didn't know. So her loss really just twirled me around in a whole different direction. I realized that she was the caregiver. She was the one, she was the good daughter. She was the good person. And she didn't get to do a lot of the things that she dreamed and wanted to do. So as I was helping our father clean out her house, I realized all of these unfinished things, all these unfinished dreams. And I decided I don't want to live a life like that. So I completely went and started learning all the things in a deeper practice. Yoga has been a part of my life since 2006. And I kind of went on this journey and I read every book I could, podcasts, all these things, classes. It was almost like I was collecting all these certificates. I was feeding it. I was hungry for it. Like I was thirsty for something to fill that hole with her loss. And so my husband's out here in El Paso, Texas. My sister had passed. Now we're in a global pandemic. Oh my goodness, right? So here and shifting and changing how we're living. We're going through that. The end of that year of 2020, my father gets sick. He just was one illness after another. He went into the hospital, and that following year, he didn't come back out. And so through that, I needed a little bit more time. And then in 2022, my husband had bought a Jeep for me. So my Beep Beep was actually Beep Beep the Yoga Jeep. Came out to El Paso with our 5 little fur babies. And then we started a life out here. And I decided not to go back into the schools or into the daycares. I completely shifted at age 50. Can you believe it? Became a yoga teacher, became a Reiki master, did all the things that I had dreamed and wanted to do. My husband was super supportive. He said, go for it. The kids are grown. Last one was in college. And I was out here helping to elevate the 915 here. And so going out and helping be of service, and all that training came into place with that. And I had Beep Beep the Yoga Jeep, created Feather Sister Wellness, created Ready Set Reiki, and I have a TV show now called Laughing Lightworkers. I've written 8 books, and this is all within the last few years because I spent that time with my children. And so when I tell people, when they ask me like, oh my goodness, I want to do this now, I said, well, I had a really important job. I took care of those children. And now these children are grown, and guess who they're helping? Me. They're helping with my social media. They're helping with my website. And if they're seeing something technology that I don't understand, I said, listen, I help teach you how to use a spoon. So you ready. So this is kind of where I am. And I never imagined 10 years ago, I would be doing this. This is beyond any expectation. And it came out of just standing in her home and seeing all these unfinished things. She wanted to write a book. There were projects, quilts she didn't finish, right? Knitting projects. She wanted a gift wrapping room, all of these things that she wanted to do. And I thought, what can I do to honor her? And that's what I do, live a life that is what I desired and dreamed of. And Feather's sister, when she passed, and I know this is such a cliche because everybody's like, it's feathers and butterflies and cardinals. There were feathers everywhere, and they were in these extraordinary places. Like I'd go back to bed and pull the blanket back. How is there a feather here? Where did this come from? And I just decided Feather Sister, right? From the help of my mentor, she said, why not call it Feather Sister? That seems perfect. And this is how I honor her and her legacy, because she didn't get married. She didn't have those children like she wanted to. And so I'm living a life that I had dreamed of. It's beyond my dreams at this point, because the connections that I make with people that I connect with on the podcast are like lifelong friends now. And that's the beauty. One of the positive things that came out of COVID is this connection with Zoom. People were kind of pushed into, well, we have to be online now and to be comfortable enough of it. And so this small community that I have has now expanded into this global and connecting with individuals and supporting and lifting each other up. So that's kind of what I feel my purpose is, to help inspire people. And it's never too late. You can always shift and redirect your life, help build with those confidence, give you the tools to give you that confidence to move forward with that.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this is fabulous. I'm just absolutely in awe at what you've done.
Yeah.
and honoring your sister like that,
Mhm.
like that is absolutely fabulous.
Correct.
One thing that, as I was listening to you, it made me think, like, I'm on Substack, and there's this one lady, she's 82 years old,
Mhm.
at around 50, or about your age, or anyway, she shifted. I think she went to Texas
Mhm.
as well, or she moved away anyway and restarted her life, and she did that again at 60 something, and again at 70 something. So the beauty of this, and again, like, she's on Substack now at 82 years old, and she's just, like, she's kept pretty well every decade. She's just done some shifts, and it is like, it is never too late
Mhm.
to do something that you really are passionate about and truly love, and for you to be honoring your sister like that, I'm just like, it's I've yeah, I'm just in awe. It's beautiful.
Well, and I wasn't always like this. I was really shy and
Mm.
backwards, and she was the one that would come in and do everything. And I got it, no worries, no worries. And so it allowed me to kind of hover in the background. And it took me, the yoga, it took the Reiki, it took yoga nidra, it took other things to kind of get that confidence. I spent about 2 years with daily Reiki and prayer. I do pray. God's a part of my life as well and my journey, and every single day. And I thought I wasn't going to get to a point where I could teach again. Before her passing, I had taught school. I've taught preschool, kindergarten. I even was a paraprofessional for a while, and I lost my confidence. At one time at a vacation Bible school, there were 200 people in the audience that I spoke in front of. And after her death, I had retaken a training as an opportunity because we were home, right? So here I go. I had a little extra time. Let me take another 200-hour training. And I was put into a room to practice giving cues out. And I just was stumbling. And then the instructor in it kept asking things, and I busted out crying. I thought, I can't do this. And the students in the class were like, what's wrong with you? Like, you know this. And I just I don't know. I don't know why. So I never thought I was going to teach again. So I had to put that work in. And I remember hearing an interview. It was about Paul McCartney. And after his John Lennon was assassinated, several years later, Paul McCartney had not played for a few years, and he was asked to be a part of a concert. And he was nervous. And I thought, Paul McCartney and the Beatles was nervous to get on stage. Then we all are nervous, and we just have to push through it. So that was like the change. I kind of was like tired of myself and tired of feeling this way. And so confidence is really repetition with positive feedback. So when people say, wow, you're really good at the podcast, well, I've had 204 episodes. So, if you heard me in the beginning, I'm stumbling, but now by this, it's automatic. As soon as I hear the music, here we go, we're on. It's like, boom. And that's just because of that repetition. So you can get there. Have faith, find something that works for you, whatever modality that is, whether you enjoy hiking, knitting, crocheting, yoga, Zumba, find something that's your passion and move forward. If you have a call to do it, then by all means, you're meant to do that, even if it sounds crazy to everybody else. I did not have the support of my family. When I did yoga, my mom thought it was the devil. When I play the sound bowls, she calls them demon bowls. So this was completely against anything that I was raised. I was raised as an Episcopalian, and this was not heard of. And so I'm really out of the box, or the black sheep, so to say. But this is my calling and passion, and I had to get okay with that. And when she would say these things, I would say, you know what, Mom? Instead of fighting with her, I really admire your devotion to your faith. It's very impressive. So I compliment it back. And being okay with, this is how she sees it. This is her interpretation of it. Do I think I'm going to go to hell? I hope so. We hope not. But, I'm with an open heart, positivity, and my goal is to be of service so that I can help others and let them know. They'll say, well, they'll come to a yoga class. Well, I can't get into that. Well, guess what? I can't do it either. And I'm the teacher. So, you don't have to be a circus artist, to get into these kind of things. It's about calming the mind. It's a work in. And this is how it helped me. It helped me be less triggered. It helped me that when I walked into a store and I saw something that Angel would love, I'm not bursting into tears. I can feel it come on, like how you feel a headache come on, or you feel like you're getting nauseous. I start asking the Reiki to help me. I'll start praying, like, please let this pass, so it doesn't linger in me, to affect my blood pressure, to affect things in my body, to make me angry, because life has given me every reason to be angry and hateful, and I choose kindness.
That's beautiful. And it's like what I love about what you're doing, like Reiki, energy work. And I was chatting with a gal yesterday, and we were talking about breath work, because that's what's helped her move through life. And it's so important. I mean, you cannot not breathe, otherwise that's it, you're gone. So breath work is one of my go-to at this, when I need to just come back to my body and just, like, and it's one of my tools. So it's beautiful that we have all these tools at our disposition, at our fingertips, that we can use. And nobody really needs to know what we're doing.
Absolutely.
You can close your eyes for a minute and just turn in and do Reiki or breathe, or these little things, and it's just, nobody knows, nobody cares anyway. But like it's just, you can do that anywhere, and it's beautiful to have these amazing tools.
Absolutely. I look at it like a buffet. You're going to go up, and what are you going to put on your plate?
Yeah.
I mean, unless you yourself are having a medical emergency, the breath, you can breathe, right? In through the nose, out the mouth. There are mudras that you can do, right? There's tapping, EFT, you can tap, breathe, all kinds of things that you can do. I was having an issue with my blood pressure, and a lot of people say, well, you do all these modalities, you should have no problem at all. Well, I'm human. Things wear out and things happen. And when I'm getting my blood pressure done, I had this weird episode where it was fluctuating. Now, my family history, there is labile blood pressure, which is situational, and you're feeling fine. You think everything is okay. And then your blood pressure is through the roof. And so I got to the point where I'll tell them, give me a second. I need to pull up a prayer. I'll read Psalms 91 and I'll give myself Reiki. I said, you need to give me a few moments. And they're like, most everybody's been like, oh, okay, wow. And they'll watch, and you'll see the blood pressure will go down. That's what I use as a tool for things like that. So see what works for you. I mean, as you're sitting in the doctor's office, maybe do a little tapping. Nobody's knowing. Do a little breathing. Right? So there's all different things out there to kind of get you through. And it helps you navigate through life. You're going to have to wait, right? You're going to have stressful situations, right? You're waiting on the doctor. You're in the dentist chair, right? All of these things and these emotions are going to come up. But how beautiful it is about life that you can experience these wide range of emotions, but they don't have to linger. You have a tool. Okay, this isn't working. Let me try this one. Let me try this one. So you're building this energetic toolbox for yourself that you have when you need it.
Yeah. And you mentioned the singing bowls earlier. I don't connect with singing bowls because I don't know, the pitch is too high for me, but sounds and music and I find that really calms me down. And I do that like quite often. I'll even on my YouTube channel, I have a lot of music, like soundscapes that I've created, and it's just really calm music, and they're layered with tones. So you can't hear the tones, but it's still affecting, like your subconscious hears it. And you can listen to that. I mean, nowadays, so many people walk around with headphones, and so they don't know what you're listening to, other people. So and if it's sound is one of the things that helps you, then there's another tool. So
absolutely. Music is that universal language. And when you're looking at a sound bowl, that's vibration, that's resonance. And I tell people, sound baths may not be for everyone. It may just not hit you and land in the right place, and that's okay. It's not for everyone. If someone has epilepsy, if you're triggered with migraines, that might not be beneficial for you. So as with everything, there's always being cautious. As someone enters an asana, a yoga pose, you have to be careful careful, like a forward fold. You shouldn't do that if you have cataracts or glaucoma. And if you have vertigo, that's not that good either. But when you look at music, it's different from playing the guitar, playing in drums. That's our universal language. You think as a child, right? Or even in the womb, your mother could have been singing to you. As a child, you're being sung these lullabies. They're comforting. Growing up, it was the Beatles for me. I was born in a time where I should have been listening to Motley Crue, right? And Def Leppard and Poison. And I was listening to the Beatles. And it's something about their songs for me that takes me there. I use music to inspire me and get me kind of, okay, I got to do some public speaking. Let's do this. You might have seen that episode of The Office where Dwight plays the music and he's like getting charged up before a sale. And it brings memories back. Your first dance, right? Certain periods of your life. And I look at it as music has really been the backdrop music of my life. And that's what I love about it. And you can go and start singing something and people will be like, they'll start to sing along, right? Like Twinkle, Twinkle, and people can finish it, Little Star. And when I have the opportunity, I do something that's called Get Fit While We Sit. And I go into memory care. And these are individuals who have served our country. They're veterans. They've done amazing and wonderful things. But here they are. They've had an injury or something that's going on in their brain. And they'll sit there and they're, kind of, you can see the sadness. But then I said, let's go back. So this is how my preschool and kindergarten helped me. And we start to sing. Let's move our arms. Do you remember? Row, row. And you see them light up. They start singing. If you play the national anthem, it triggers something and they remember. They put their hand on their heart. They stand up if they can and they start saying the words and you see it in their face. You put on an Elvis Presley song. Oh boy, look out. Jerry Lee Lewis, the words are coming back for these individuals that were just staring off. I remember this one woman, she just was staring into space like this. I played Ring of Fire and she started singing. And it was just like beautiful. Look at that. Look at that. And that's where it comes up at. So it is that universal language. So if that wakes you up, play the music, right? Not everybody's open to yoga. That's okay. Not everybody's open to sound bowls. Somebody, like I'm not open. I don't like Zumba. I got trained in it. It wasn't my thing. I'm like, I don't think this is for me. But what a beautiful opportunity to have that you can decide what lights me up. So it's a great teacher to say, yeah, that's not for me. I think I'll go to that.
Yeah, absolutely. A couple of thoughts that I like, and I've said this before on this channel, on this podcast, but like if you look at babies, I mean, you're talking about that. I mean, when we're in our mother's womb, you hear the heartbeat, you hear the sound of the fluid, and if there's music, like another thought that I just had, when I was pregnant with my oldest son, I played Madonna a lot. Well, it triggers. Like for him, he loves Madonna. And there's no reason for it because he didn't listen to it a whole lot when he was growing up. But the other thing I was going to say is that like music it's like a cultural, like around the world, every single culture has music within them. So that's like universal. And then the other thing too is that I've seen many studies with that were done with people that have Alzheimer's or some other cognitive challenge, and like you said, they'll be sitting there and it's basically emotionless and then just like nothing, and then you start playing a music that will remind them of like their childhood or when they were a teenager or when they met their spouse or whatever. And all of a sudden you see life coming back. They light up. Or this one, I think it was a lady, they put her in front, like she could barely move, but they put her in front of a piano and she started playing and she just like lit up and she could, that was like amazing. So yeah, music, whatever it is, it doesn't have, like you said, it doesn't have to be sound bath or anything. It's just amazing.
Even the sound of the drum sounds like what? Mm-hmm. The heartbeat.
Yeah.
And you figure like when you get a little puppy, what do they tell you to do? Get something. There's a little stuffed animal that has a heartbeat. So it mimics the heartbeat of the mother to make them feel safe.
Yeah. And that I just heard recently that I just was watching. I love YouTube, so I was watching a video, and it said that the purring of cats kind of mimics the same wave as babies crying. So when you've got a cat, and I think I saw somewhere too that there some nursing homes or care facilities, they have cats roaming around, and the cats will go to people that are, near the end of their life, and they're just there comforting the person. So yeah, it's anyway, we could go on and on talking about that.
Cognitive issues, and they put a baby doll. So in the care
Yeah.
facility I was in, they had little baby dolls. They had a little cat, and they would sit there and they would remember the name of their cat that they had, or remember the name of their child, and bring that memory back. Yeah.
Yeah. It's beautiful, all the things we can do. So yeah.
Beautiful.
All right, we've covered quite a bit of stuff, and I just love this. I guess that you would say that like all the stuff that you've been through was to commemorate your sister's life, I guess, to honor her life. Was there anything else that kind of brought you out of where you were? Like you said, you kind of were sitting in the background because you could, but after your sister passed, you said, well, I'm going to start living my life. Was there another trigger, or that was basically the major one?
I think that was the major one. I kind of always knew I wanted to do these things, but I also knew that I had my children to take care of. And I took that role very seriously because my parents divorced when I was 4 and 5 years old. I wanted to have my kids there. And there's nothing wrong, with working, things like that. This was my own personal thing. And so I took jobs where they could come along. I was my daughter's preschool teacher. When my husband had the opportunity to move out to El Paso, I stepped down as a teacher and I became a paraprofessional. So I was working at the same high school as my daughter. We had taken a foster daughter in, so she was also in high school as well. So I was there with them. So I could be in the morning and the afternoon and have a condensed schedule while he was out here, because it was an opportunity that he could not refuse. And when I felt, okay, my dad had passed, I needed like one more year. My husband was so kind and patient. I needed just a little bit more time because we had so many losses. I mean, 2020, I lost my sister. 2021, my dad, we had a dog that died. One of my very good friends and mentor, she had passed. And then I'm like, okay, it's been another year. I'm ready to go in 2022. I came out, and then it was just the invitation of like, okay, we're in a place now that if you want to, the kids are grown, go do what you want to do. And it was building from scratch. With that, I had to build it from the grounds up. I mean, I was moving somewhere where I just knew my husband and had the dogs, and I met my friends through my kids. And so it was building a whole life. And through the yoga and the Reiki and all the things that I'm doing, I ended up meeting people pretty quickly. I was really surprised. And my students have been more supportive than family. It was like, God knew that the family wasn't going to help you, so I sent you a stranger. And these strangers have become really good friends. They make sure I'm paid, right? Versus, someone who I may have known or been related to. They're the ones that are sharing and supporting things on social media. So even if you don't have that family support, I mean, my husband's fantastic. My kids are fantastic. I have, 3 best friends that are amazing and wonderful, who are my cheerleaders, but this extended family as well, they just don't get it. And that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah. And it's important to have support, no matter where that support is from. Sometimes, it isn't necessarily family, but it's beautiful that your husband, that is so important too. So
right. And just, I wouldn't be able to do the extent of work that I'm doing if we didn't have that mutual, okay, you go do this, because with all of these modalities, I mean, you're not becoming a millionaire with it. So you're doing it. And it was the same thing with entering in school. When I was in college, they're like, are you sure you want to be an elementary teacher? At that time, when I was going through college, there wasn't a high turnover in jobs. So people were holding on to these jobs and retiring a little later. Many people now were retiring early, but it was a much different way of looking at things. And they were always like, are you sure you're not going to make a lot of money? You're going to put money into the classroom. And sure enough, I put money in the classroom, wasn't making a whole lot. And it was at that time a job where you needed to have a partner, spouse, roommate, something as a second support. So now that, you know, we have that in this stage of life, I could not probably have done this in my 30s, 40s, all in. Do you know what I mean? Like, you have people that starve for their art, and there's nothing wrong with that. But to comfortably be okay and say, okay, I can really choose and do whatever my heart desires with this, and truly be of service to someone and help them. And I was able to take the time and to do the trainings. I had a woman come in and she had back pain, and I knew from a training, this is what I need to do. I prepared for this. I'm ready. And I'm like rolling things up and putting, she's like, oh, this feels great. And I'm like, and this shows you skill in action right here is what I learned. And when I was going through it at the time, several years ago, I'm like, why am I going to need this? And here it is. Here it is. It might have been 6 years later, but here it is. And I helped that person to lie comfortably for 60 minutes during a session. And she had finished and she said, you know what? Thank you for taking the time to give me that extra care. And that's how I treat everyone, that extra little care. I'll jokingly say, here's your concierge VIP service. I am here for you. So I kind of take a playful way on it. You know, anything you need, I am here, and I'll sing. And so bring a little bit of joy and happiness to it.
No, that's awesome. You're fabulous. I wish we lived closer to each other.
I know, right?
That is awesome. All right. Any last words of wisdom, madam?
Well, you know what? If you have the calling, whatever it is, you might think like, this is crazy. Like, I'm supposed to open my own like chocolate factory or something. If that's what it is, and that is your heart, move forward. The universe will work in your favor. Keep being positive. I find when I'm positive, things start flowing in. Now, I'll say it in a sarcastic tone. I'll be like, things are great. It's wonderful. It's fabulous. And my husband now, because I've been doing that so much, he's not really sure. So he'll stop. I'll be like, you're the most wonderful husband in the world. Thank you. I'm so honored to be married to you. And he's like, he's looking at me like, okay. But when you're positive, you will see the blessings. The people will arrive. When I first came into El Paso, I was here for a week and I actually started to cry. I'm like, I just want one person. I just want one person. And now, few years later, 4 years in, there's people, they're here. And I'm like, oh my goodness, like, and the opportunities are flowing in when you ask for these things, when you ask the universe. So I write in journals and things like that, put a timestamp, because there's things 4 years ago I was asking for, and guess what? They're all arriving now. And I'm like, whoa, I'm a little different person. I don't know if I want that opportunity. I don't want that job. Then enters the guilt, because it was something you asked for and prayed for, but it just was showing up when the universe, that vibration was happening, and it may not be something that resonates with you. So stay positive, right? And keep trying, keep going. Remember, confidence is repetition with positive feedback. Start with one person. If you feel uncomfortable public speaking, just talk to your animals, right? Talk to the plant, talk to a wall until you feel a little bit confident, and use the tools that help work for you. Breathing, listening to music to pump you up. Maybe you need a little AC/DC or Iron Maiden to get you charged up. So be it. No judgment, right? You do you, right? And you'll get to that point. It took me, again, 6 years really to feel like this confident to be able to speak and to share and to be so open and kind of share my journey and story and be so raw and open. You'll get there too if you desire.
That's fabulous. Thank you so much. Like I said, I so appreciate you. Like, I really seriously do wish we lived closer to each other, because I go to your, visit with you. And
absolutely. We'd lunch. We'd be ladies that lunch.
That's right. All right. Excuse me. So everything that, like all your social media and whatever, you links will be in the show notes. So again, thank you so much for taking the time today, because you're a little bit ahead of me, I think. Like, anyway, thank you so much for taking the time, and I will chat with you later. And I'm sure many people will use your words and of wisdom and just benefit from that.
Beautiful. Thank you again.
Thank you for spending time with us inside the Heartful Healing Hub. If this story moved you, please consider sharing this episode or leaving a comment. Your words help others find this sacred space. If you or someone you love has a healing journey to share, we'd love to hear from you. And finally, if you would enjoy a gentle way to unwind after listening, visit the show notes to download your free tea ritual guide, Sip and Soften, a soul-soothing gift to nourish your inner healer. Until next time, be kind to yourself and trust what has always been within you. And remember, you are whole, you are healing, you are home.